We're back on the record this morning with Commissioner Cox.
Now, the Boston Marathon is still a few months away, and preparations are certainly well underway. I know you planned for this many months in advance. The year began with a deadly lone wolf terror attack in New Orleans. The man responsible was able to drive a pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street, and we have seen similar incidents in Europe. When you saw what happened, did you think, okay, maybe we should shift a few things for marathon planning? How do recent incidents like this factor into your decision making?
No, I mean, the first thought was my hearts and prayers went out to the city of New Orleans and the people who were injured, and as well as the officers there. We've gone through something similar here right in Boston. We don't necessarily need to go outside our own experiences to learn from these events that happen are really important in law enforcement. And so, and we've done that to look and study and see, some of the best practices or errors that may have been made to make sure that we learn from them. That being said, the marathon, we spend an inordinate amount of time making sure we prepare every year and changing it based off the year before, things that we've seen or
making slight tweaks, that kind of thing.
Correct.
What about other communities? Do you talk to other communities? Because the marathon is one of those things where it goes through several communities.
Correct. And it's, we're blessed here in the sense that so many law enforcement work with each other, and the state police covers so many other areas outside of the Boston area. And so, law enforcement, we do talk, we do speak the issues that we see, we share that, and I would say that that event is there's a lot of planning that goes in place, and knock on wood, I like to say that we're as prepared as we can be when we have it each year, but the work never stops.
The work never stops.
It never stops.
So let's talk about recruitment. The union says that the force is down some 500 officers. Is that number accurate?
I don't know if that number is accurate. I will say this, is that recruitment is an issue. We're always trying to recruit people to come to the job. Each class, we're looking for a certain number, and we always get a little less than that. And then we have officers that are aging out and retiring each year.
Sure.
So that's really important that we replace those officers. And it begins by making sure people understand that the honor in this work, and the fact is that it's a really good job to have. It's honorable work. And if you love the city and you want to give back, then this is a place to come and do that.
Is that how you reach out to young people to consider a career in law enforcement?
We reach out multiple ways. We've been partnering with advertisement agencies. I think the Celtics have been good in letting us put some stuff on the Jumbotron. We have advertising on our vehicles. We have it online. We're doing a lot to reach out to people. But if you know anyone out there, please let us know.
What do you think is the biggest impediment to someone joining the force?
Just image, and we've. Public safety, no matter how valued it is and important the work is, there's still a negative stigma to it in so many ways. And young people don't like to be associated with things that have any negative stigma. Right. And so the fact is that we do really good work, but if any agency anywhere in this country makes a mistake of some type, it's actually all over the news, and then people feel as though all agencies do that, or particularly your agency does that, and that's not fair, but the reality is that's what happens in what the work we do. And so it's important that we reach young people to help them understand the importance of what we do and the fact that we need them, and this is a good place if they want to get back.
There are 168 hours in a week. Do you get any sleep in those 168 hours?
I get sleep. I do get sleep. I'm blessed. This is an honor to be in this position. It's an honor to do this job in the city of Boston, the place where I grew up, live my entire life. We're one of the safest big cities in America because of the fact that we have such a strong city that work together, that learn from our past and try to make a better future for us. And we have a wonderful mayor that's leading us in that way. So I'm very, very happy to be here in so many different ways, regardless of the lack of sleep from time to time.
Commissioner, thanks for your time.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Our thanks again to Commissioner Cox for sitting in the chair this morning. The roundtable is next. Bus, stop! What Mayor Wu's scrapping of a Boylston Street bus lane says about city politics right now. We'll discuss.